Hey, what's up guys? It's Tony. I got a cool new product review. This is the Turbo Ace Jockey. Now currently at the time of this video, this is still a Kickstarter project, so what you see here in this video may not be what you get with the final product, but from what I've been told, this thing is like 99% of the way there. So they have all of the words, all of the design, and things all functional and stuff like that. So what this contraption you see here, it's a 4th axis stabilizer designed to work with the popular, the name brand popular 3-axis gimbal like the DJI Ronin M, which I have right here. It also works with the Freefly Mobi series, the M5, M10, M15, and it also works with Turbo Ace's own gimbal lineup like the All Steady Motion and the All Steady 6. So what does this contraption do? You can see it goes up and down, but what does it do? So think of it as a more compact mobile Steadicam. So you have a Steadicam. This is more of like a single Steadicam arm with special hydraulic oil-filled shocks. You have handles on the side. So now instead of wearing this big bulky vest with heavy arms and goes all over the place, you have handles. You pick it up when you're walking. You can see. So if your body is going up like my hands like this, really fast like this, fast or slow, you can see the jockey does a really good job of trying to stabilize the camera. It keeps the camera nice and level. Now, I have to be honest, it's not 100% perfect at keeping the camera like dead on at this level, but it does a pretty good job. You watch through the screen, it doesn't go up and down, bounce all over the place, which is very important. This is more of a mechanical design. It's a Steadicam arm design. It's got a spring to push up. It uses weight and gravity to push back down, and once you have the springs adjusted just right, it just kind of floats here right in the middle. And that's why it gives it that floating effect. So if you're walking on uneven terrain, or you're just like running really fast, you kind of like have to walk at a faster pace, the jockey does a lot of hard work for you. And I already know a lot of guys that's watching this video are gonna say, hey buddy, just learn how to walk. Learn how to do the Steadicam operator walk, heel toe, heel toe. I have to admit, if I'm on a shoot that's already planned out, that I have to know my marks, and I don't have to walk that fast, I can usually pull it off. But I'm doing like a faster paced walking speed where I have to kind of walk faster than walking, kind of like a speed walking or running, or even just like a run and gun type of shot where nothing is ever planned out. I just go out there and I shoot, and you don't have time to focus on heel toe, because it's actually very hard in my opinion. And I myself, I'm one of those guys who haven't mastered that art yet. I think of it as walking heel toe. It's something that you have to practice, and it's like an art. You have to just do it just right, or else you're just gonna fall face first and trip over your legs because you're too busy concentrating, or you can't focus on getting the shot. Enough about that. You can see, really neat. If you go like slow, you can still bring the camera high. If you go down low, you can still bring it low. But the best stuff is, it stabilizes it up and down. Now, why is this important? If you're running, once again, sometimes when you're running, if you use a 3-axis gimbal before, if you're running really fast and you're stomping on the ground like so, your feet's like stomping, you get these really hard, abrupt, like stops like this, and that just causes you to get like kind of shaky videos. What the jockey also does, instead of stabilizing it, it also dampens out those hard stops. So if you're running and each time your feet touch the ground and you run again, instead of going like, let me see, to give you guys a better idea, let me just bring up the jockey right here. Instead of getting these kind of hard stops like this, the jockey would dampen out those hard stops, as you can see here. See, it dampens it out, and it just does a really good job of keeping everything nice and level. Let me go ahead and power on my Ronin now, so that way it's just not swinging all over the place. I have a Panasonic GH4 with a 12-35mm lens. Also too, with the Panasonic GH4 and the 12-35, I would say this lens combo is equivalent to like a 24-70 on a full frame setup. So if I have, right now I have it set for 35mm, which I'll post another video of more of the actual tech shots. You guys can compare videos between, 3-axis gimbal and 3-axis gimbal with the jockey to show you guys a big comparison. This is more of an overview video. But if I'm shooting at 35, for example, and then when you're walking, when you pick a solid line, like sometimes there's a few tricks I would say you can do when you're shooting with gimbals is to shoot really wide. The reason why a lot of people shoot wide is because when you shoot wide, you see a lot of those, you see less of imperfections in, when you're walking, like each little bounce, each little hard stops. But when you zoomed in, all the way to 35 millimeters, which is like 70 millimeters on a full frame, it's you start to see the shakiness, and then if you kind of like walk against a wall or like a building and you pick that edge, like the straight line of a building, you see this up and down movement. Each time you walk, you get this little up and down. And sometimes for some people it's actually hard to kind of edit out, and you know, when you edit out, it takes time, you lose quality. With the Jockey, it allows you to do less editing. That way you keep that fine resolution of your video. You know, this keeps everything is actually a lot easier to work with too when you're editing your videos. Less editing means less time. So when you're walking, you can see right here. The best thing too about the Jockey is it gives you that full range of freedom as you would get with a 3-axis gimbal. So you know, when you're holding, the reason why a lot of guys use 3-axis gimbal compared to a Steadicam is you can just, you know, quickly move it. You have all that free range of movement. You know, you can still pass it off to another person too. It's like another, you know, handle for a gimbal. And I can still do follow tilt if needed. And look at this, you know, it's right here. It's really easy to use. And the handles also act as a stand. So let's go over a few features of this Jockey, you know, what a few key features. So you can see over here, we have 2 red knobs. All of the adjusting knobs on the Jockey, they're in red, so it's really easy to see what you need to adjust and what you don't have to adjust. We have 2 main spring adjusters. We have a main spring, and we also have a spring tensioner adjustment. So this main spring will actually bring the Steadicam spring up and down, just like your normal Steadicam. But what those doesn't allow you to do is adjust the spring tension. So for example, you can bring it up and get this nice floaty motion right where you want it, but if you put a heavier camera on there, you can't really make the spring stiffer. So this is what this spring allows you to do. So you can see here, I can move it, and now I'm actually pulling the spring out a little bit, where I'm actually you know, decompressing the spring so you can see it fits really low. If I have a lighter camera, if I have a heavier camera, I can actually screw this in a few times, and it's actually a very, very fine adjustment. So you can, you know, you don't have to worry about moving just a little. You can actually fine tune this adjustment to where you want it to be. So you can see it actually sits a little bit higher now. So let me just back it off about 4 to 5 turns, and just keep on going here. You want this to float right here, right about neutral. I would say a little bit low neutral, right about here. This is where I like it to float. That gives it a nice steady shot. So over here, we have adjustments for the arm angle. So you can actually adjust the tubes. I'll show that later on in the video with the optional belt harness. But what this thing does is it allows you to move the arms at a certain height depending on if you want a higher shot or lower shot. So you're not stuck with using a fixed position design. All of this is adjustable, so you can, you know, configure it in any way you want. You can put it all the way down if you want that really nice high shot too, so you're not stuck with using that configuration. Also too, the handles are adjustable. So if you want to adjust the handle angle, you can see, you can rotate it any angle you want to fit your knees. You know, it's very ergonomic, so it's very easy to hold. A little bit tighter here. Let's see. Up next in front, you see here these silver things here. These are special hydraulic oil-filled shocks. The purpose of these shocks are it dampens out this up and down movement. Without these hydraulic shocks on here, if you don't have them mounted on here, you know, with the way the Steadicam arm design is, you have a spring that always wants to push up, you have gravity that always push down. Without anything to dampen this up and down movement, when you push up and you let go, like this, you see it stops right away. If you remove these shocks, you push up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up and down, it's going to spring up and down, and eventually slow down and then stop. And you really don't want that. That's why we see a lot of concepts out there. Shadow Cam made one, and I've been eyeing that one, but it never came into production, never came to life. A few guys have made something very similar to this, but you see it's all concept, all prototype, but never came to production. But Turbo Ace tried, I believe they designed this thing for over a year, and they finally brought it to life, and these hydraulic oil-filled shocks makes things a lot better, just much more smoother just by damping out. And if you watch the Kickstarter video, they had actually four smaller ones on here. This is actually one of the latest ones that they're trying out. This is like twice the size of the original shock. It's a 16mm bore. Pretty much what that means for you guys is more oil, you know, more dampening. It's a win-win situation. So here we go. And also a few things that you can do with the Ronin. Let me go ahead and power this off. Show you guys how easy it is to remove the Ronin or any one of your vise. So it's still clicking, so even if I loosen here, it's still locked in, it's never gonna fall out, so you still keep that safety feature with the Ronin. You pull out the little button over here, and you just slide it off. That's how quick it is, how easy it is to remove it. If you wanna put it back on, find this little slot. Make sure you hear that little click, and now it's not gonna fall out even if you forget to tighten the screw. So go ahead, tighten the screw. And also be sure to check out the Kickstarter page to have pictures of what's included with different packages, because if you get the Ronin package or the Mobi or the Allstate package, you have different plates on top. You can see here, this is another plate for the Ronin. So if you want to do underslung, you can do inverted. I myself prefer inverted because everything is kind of like at an eye level. But if you like to do a lower shot, you can put it onto the bottom, which is underslung, and you can either get it with the optional plate or get it without. I believe most guys are ordering with the optional lower block and this one right here. So you put this one on here, you can quickly take it off, mount it onto the bottom, and now you have an underslung. Very easy. And this right here, Turbo Ace gave me this to show you guys, because right now it's currently mounted on here. But this is the optional riser block. You know, you put it on here, and that lowers this block down a little bit for different gimbals, depending on what gimbal you have. So here we go, put this aside. What's also available with some of the packages with the Turbo Ace Jockey is this optional belt harness. I actually, when I first thought, I was like, who needs a belt harness, you know, like it just looks really bulky, it looks kind of lame. I would really never use it, but just over the weekend of using the Jockey, you know, the weight adds up pretty quick. So for example, the Ronin with the handlebars weigh about 4.8 pounds. Take out the handlebars, we're at about 4 pounds or so. The Jockey, I'm not sure on the exact weight, but I would say it's anywhere from 3 to 4 pounds. So you know, once you add up the weight with the Jockey, the gimbal, and this, it gets pretty heavy. And no matter how strong you are, I mean, I'm not the strongest guy. I'm not in the, like, I'm not, you know, I don't have a lot of muscles to hold it. I can say I could hold this for maybe 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what I'm doing. And after that, I'd be really tired. But you know, if a shot calls for like a long period of time, and you know, depending on where you work, you don't have a lot of space to put it down. For example, it's kind of like wet. You know, it's really easy to put down because right now this configuration, the handles and the optional belt harness back here, the attachment, it acts like its own stand. So you can use it. You can put it down anywhere without having to worry about anything getting wet or dirty. You can put it down to grass, sand, concrete, tile, you know, tables, or even the back of your car, and it's just like this. But sometimes when you're working in like a really busy scene, or like, you know, you had a concert or a music video, there's not a lot of space to put it down. So when you wear this harness on here, what this thing does, so let me quickly switch over to that, show you how the harness works, how or why I think everybody should actually get one of this. It's actually very compact. So let me go show you guys what this harness looks like on my waist and how the Jockey fits on there. Alright guys, so I have the harness mounted onto here. You can see, you can actually move it around, and you also have little belt tensioning adjustments. You can actually pull it, make it a little bit tighter or looser depending on your body size. But you can see it's actually not too bad. It's got padding all the way around, so you really don't feel the weight. I don't feel the weight yet. So let me go ahead. It does feel a little bit loose, so it's not tightened all the way. So you want it just, you know, you want this thing mounted right above your waist, so that way when you put it down, it doesn't hit your thighs when you're walking. None of this thigh movement kind of pushes it out, because before when I was using it, I had it kind of low. So when I walk, you can see here, it pushes it up. So let me go ahead, and then you can see I can still have that range of movement to reach down. And that's pretty much it. You pop it on and you're good to go. With it, this configuration with the belt, with the handles down, it feels a little bit kind of different, you know, because it's kind of low. So what I would like to do is adjust the angles of the arms. You can see the arms are adjustable, fully adjustable. You can bring it down like this if you want. You can bring it up. You can swing it a full 360 depending on what you want. You want to do gunner style. I would say, to me, this would be the most perfect position for me because I got my hands. Just to try it on for a little bit earlier, and I like this position the most. This configuration right up here. And you know, everybody has different opinions, different, you know, feelings. So you can always adjust it to your fit your, comfort. Go ahead and loosen up this side here, bring it up, tighten down here. Loosen up the thumb screw on this one. Tighten down the handles again. Make sure it's tight. You can see we're good to go. Let's go ahead, power on the Ronin. See, one-handed right now. Alright, we're live. As you can see, even with the belt harness, I still have that free range of movement, which is awesome. I can pan it, I can tilt down a little bit if needed, like so. And then I can still quickly take it out of the harness right here and use it. The bottom of this harness here, you can see this cone adjustment to make it a better grip, like so. This cone adjustment right here is adjustable. You can put it all the way down, so you can put it into the cup, it locks into the cup, or you can move it up like so. And now when you put it back into the cup, it just gives you more range of movement. I can, roll it more, and I can tilt it more, depending on what type of shooting that I'm doing. So it gives you a lot of adjustability, which is awesome. Go ahead, put it back down. Also, too, on the bottom here, there's a 3/8" screw. This is a special button head screw that what you can do here, for example, if you want to permanently lock this jockey onto this cup, you can go from the bottom now and lock the screw in. You can see it's locked into this cup. It ain't gonna go anywhere. I can still adjust the cone over here to give it more of a tighter fit. You can see it ain't going anywhere. It's locked into this cup. So if I want to lift up, it ain't going up. By myself, I couldn't see myself using this too much, so I'm not exactly sure why that was part of the design. But it's good to know that you can lock it in place if needed. And also, it's round, so when you put it back into here, tighten this screw back up so I don't lose it. Now I put it back into the cup, and we're back. Awesome. So now on the bottom of this cup, we have O-rings on here. We have O-rings all along this cone here. So when you put into this cone, it actually, prevents that metal to metal kind of clicking sound, clicking, clanging, clingy sound. You can see very little sound at all. It just makes it quieter. Very nice. It's still range of movement. Give you guys an idea of how this thing works. If I'm walking, like so, marching, I guess, you can see my body, the handle is going up and down, but the jockey does a really good job of keeping the camera nice and stable. Also too, if I'm kind of, running, hopping like a rabbit for whatnot, running really fast, you can see my body, the jockey is going up and down, but the camera does a really good job of staying nice and level, and that can make a difference on some of the shooting scenes that you do. I like this free range of movement right here. It's very nice. I'm not stuck with using it like this. I can still take it out. I can still go high. I can still go low if I want. I can still pass it off to another person if I want. So that, to me, that's very, very nice. I've seen some of the other rigs where you have like a string over and you have all that stuff. You're stuck there. You have this like tall little thing sticking out, this funky bar, strings, and it probably worked very nice in supporting all of the weight for you. But it's kind of bulky, and it's not as compact as this guy right here. This is, if I can, if my arms can fit through a doorway, this is easy, Those big old kind of robotic arm ones, those exoskeleton arm designs, they're nice, but they're just really big and bulky. This one is very nice and compact. You can see, very easy, one-handed. You can just go like this. The belt supports a lot of that weight, and the only thing I have to do is just kind of use my hand or fingers to pull back up, and that's it. All of the weight is on this guy right here, and then with the special padding, I don't feel any extra weight on my hips or thighs. A little bit, but not enough to break your back or kill you, over time. I can probably go for an hour easy, over an hour, like this. And yet, it's also good too, because sometimes when you're shooting, you need to adjust different camera, settings. You can just quickly take off and just adjust your camera, do what you got to do, and put it back down. You can set focus like this. You can zoom, focus, what you got to do, and it's actually very easy. So that's also very good. I mean, it doesn't support all of that weight, but just makes it a little bit easier for you. So you can, left hand, right hand, do what you got to do. Get a cup, drink some water, take a break, whatnot. Very, very nice. So I would say I would recommend, if you guys are looking to get at, are looking to purchase the jockey, I would highly recommend picking the package with the optional belt harness, because it does make a big difference. And you can still walk. I mean, depending on how fast you're walking and how you adjust your belt, I still think you can achieve really good results. So right now, my belt is a little bit loose. It needs to be a little bit tighter up here. So I'm holding it when I'm walking. You can see it right now, for example, it's kind of low. So when I'm walking, my thighs is kind of pushing up a lot. And you want your thighs to be, less restrictive, less in the way. Very nice. I can walk all day long with this guy. Walk, walk. Walk, walk. It's 2 fingers. Still. Very, very nice. Alright, let's go back to the table and show you guys some more little features of the jockey. Alright guys, a few more features on the Turbo Ace Jockey. We'll go ahead and remove the Ronin on here. Alright, put this guy down. So, if you look on the bottom of the jockey here, you see there's a cable right here. So, depending on what package you get and what you use on your jockey, using, like, for example, monitors, you have cables running all over the place. What this little thing down here does, it's got little cutouts already designed on here, so you can fit your HDMI cables, ribbon cables, or even you get the motion package with the all steady motion gimbal. You have their joystick. You can mount it on there. The cable's running along here, and then I would say this is more of like a cable organizer. It just pretty much holds the cable in place without any tape or screws, so that way it looks nice and cleaner or professional. But what it does is it keeps the wires from, dangling all over the place, because you have this up and down motion and you have, cables all over the place. You can actually interfere, get caught up somewhere. So now on the bottom of here, you can see there's a little cutout here. So it's a very, very nice feature. I'm pretty sure there's going to be another one in the future from what I've been told. So it's not 100% final, it's 99% of the way there, but there will be another cutout right here. So that way, any of your joystick wires can run along here, or cables, monitor cables can run inside, out here, into here, so that way it looks nice and cleaner. You can see, very lightweight. I mean, I think it weighs just a little bit lighter than the Ronin M itself. If I take out the camera, I think it weighs a little bit lighter than the Ronin with the handlebars. So that's why I say it's kind of like 3 to 4 pounds. You can see right there. Just to give you guys a 360 shot. See the bottom here, the back of the cone, like earlier in the video. It's all adjustable. You can, kind of slide it up so it locks up into place. And now, when you put it into the cup, it gives you more range of movement. Put it back down. You can lock it back down. Also, too, if you do remove this plate right here, you have more settings over here that you can use. They have more mounting holes. They have a 1/4 inch hole in the bottom. You also have a larger 3/8 inch screws. They have a 1/4 20 and 3/8 in here, so you can use it on like a monopod, for example. Depending on what you do, it gives you a lot of room to grow with, so you're not stuck with using one configuration, just one design. You can actually move it around, configure it, change angles of the arms, use more attachments, which I love about Turbo Aces. They give you the ability to use more optional accessories without having to buy more parts or modify or get the newer version of, something that just came out. So everything is on here. It's very easy, you can see. Boom, boom. Move it all over the place. It's all constructed out of CNC aluminum and carbon fiber. These are 30mm carbon fiber handle tubes here, and it's all aircraft grade aluminum. So very, very nice, very durable. There's really no plastic parts on here besides the little caps here to kind of cap in the hollow hole right here, and also the shocks right here. The balling ends right here, they're plastic, but it needs to be plastic for a reason. But besides that, it's very, very little plastic counts. Zip ties with plastic if you ever need, to hold your wires in place. But besides that, I would say there's less plastic than the DJI Ronin. The DJI Ronin has more plastic, like a lot of the cables, the little knobs here. Some of the other parts are plastic, a lot more plastic parts. This one is just all CNC aluminum and nice carbon fiber. So there you go, that was an overview video on the Turbo Ace Jockey. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check out my future videos of more actual test shots you guys can see and compare, because I don't want to put test shots, with the overview video, since this one's more about the features and you guys, can pick what you want to watch first, and then, later on watch the short videos on the test comparisons on the handheld versus handheld with the jockey, and also just handheld by itself without the 3-axis gimbal. So if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment box below. If you guys want to see any improvements or any kind of like optional parts added to the jockey package, please let me know, or let the guys at Turbo Ace know. They're willing to keep their ear open to do more improvement to make this a better product. So far, I have to say I kind of like this project. I think it's revolutionary for just any 3-axis gimbal, because before, we all know the 3-axis gimbal does 3 things: stabilizes this movement, but never up and down. And just till recently, Turbo Ace released this guy, and I'm very impressed. I'm kind of happy, and I think I can see me using this one a lot more depending on my type of shooting, running gun. If I do like a quick one, I'll just grab the handlebars, but something that requires a lot of running or in the back of the car, whatnot, moving up and down, I think the jockey is gonna work really, really well. So hope you guys enjoyed it once again.